Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news right now, Wake County shooting. Deputies are investigating two different scenes miles apart after a man was sent to the hospital. What investigators are trying to piece together this morning.
And it feels great out here right now. Temperatures this afternoon warm up a little bit. We're back into the low 80s. I'll show you when highs will climb into the 90s again.
Plus, student performance. New data being released today will give us a look at how kids in Wake County are performing, what leaders and parents will be looking for in the numbers. A lot of updates to get to here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Levine, in for Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Ken Smith. And you head out this morning, you needed a jacket.
Yes, absolutely. I sure did. You know, it's pretty cool out there. We're getting this taste of fall. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the forecast for us. And Elizabeth, I see you have your jacket on.
I do. I tell you what, I came in with it this morning, and I'm very happy to have it out here right now. I've been standing in the shade for a while, so it's definitely cool in the sunshine as we get through the day today. It's going to feel much better. That sunshine's starting to shine on the gardens there as it continues to climb, and our temperature just jumped too. In the last hour, it was at 55. Now we're at 57. Dew point jumped to 1, 2, but it still feels comfortably cool out here, mostly in the 50s. A few low 60s in Fayetteville and Clinton, but elsewhere temperatures are in the 50s. Your school day planner, as the kids are coming home, temperatures will be in the low 80s, and so no jackets required at that point. We do have some 90-degree days in our forecast later in the week, as well as some rain to watch out for. I'll show you when to expect all of that coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the W Traffic Center this 8 o'clock hour. Boy, a crash that cleared in the last 45 minutes or so. It happened around the I-40, I-440 interchange just before exit 301, but we're still seeing some lingering delays between Jones Sausage Road and that I-40, I-440 interchange. So if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County this morning, you're looking at a 14-minute delay. Things are beginning to jam up again at that southern loop of the Belt line between Lake Wheeler Road and Gorman Street as well. Here's another trouble spot. There's a crash on I-87 in the southbound lanes, not far from this Smithfield Road exit. So if you're in a rush this morning, you probably should get off on Smithfield Road, take the Pool Road interchange, and get over to the Beltline to avoid what's happening here on I-87 rather. You're looking at a 22-minute delay if you're coming in from Knightdale this morning. Our friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 15-minute delay as well. Things are beginning to jam up just a bit on US 1 coming in from Apex. You're looking at a 12-minute delay. Similarly, over in Durham, we're seeing very little to no delays in terms of the Bull City. We do want to isolate 885 for a little bit. There was a crash there in the northbound lanes, but right now, you're still seeing the lingering delays going into Durham. You're looking at a 13-minute delay. If you're going using I-885 to get to I-40, you're just looking at a 5-minute delay. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Right now, Wake County deputies are investigating a shooting that spans two scenes in eastern Wake County. Deputies found a man shot on Privet Road, and they also found a car with a bullet hole in it just 3 miles away near Edgemont Road here near Wendell. Allie Catlabar is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker this morning. Allie, we're trying to figure out if anyone has been arrested at this time.
Yes, Laura, throughout the morning, I've been searching through Wake County Bureau of Forensics, and there have been no updates on that end. But here's what's left of what officers investigated throughout the morning. About 4 hours ago, we saw officers investigating this bullet hole in the back windshield of this car. There's also some blood inside this vehicle as well. Now, we want to show you both of these scenes here. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker taking you to that first scene. This is on Privet Road. This is where deputies found a man shot. That man was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 3 miles away on Cooper's Hawk Trail, we saw officers investigating that car with a bullet hole in the back windshield. Deputies at both scenes say that these scenes are related. They're connected. And right now we do see that Wake County Sheriff's Office has tagged this vehicle as well as a fleece that's left. That bullet hole still there. We're working to find out how these two scenes are related. If anyone has been arrested, we're going to keep you guys updated. Reporting live in Wake County, Allie Catlabar, WRAL News.
Allie, thank you. A state trooper was shot at during an overnight traffic stop in Cumberland County. This is video from the scene on MacArthur Road near I-295 in Fayetteville just before 10 p.m. The trooper was not hurt. We're trying to find out if there is a suspect in custody after this shooting. A busy Raleigh intersection reopened this morning after a crash shut it down overnight. Sky 5 flew over the scene at the intersection of Falls of Neuse and Hunting Ridge Roads. Police say one of the two cars involved overturned, hit a telephone, and causing it to snap. That brought down traffic signals and a street sign in the process. Police says the cause of this crash is still under investigation.
Well, today we'll get new information about how the state schools are performing. Data about standardized test results will be released in just a few hours. WRAL's Flint Snyder is live at the Department of Public Instruction in Raleigh. Flint, this will give us an idea of how schools are adjusting to less funding from after the pandemic.
Ken, that's right. And when leaders meet here at the State Education Building this morning, they're also going to be looking into how well and how much students have improved since that pandemic era learning loss. Now, last year results revealed in some cases districts on average are doing better than they were before the pandemic, but results vary by school. In Wake County, past results reveal reading proficiency among students rose slightly last year to just over 61%. The results will also be the first since more than $1 billion in COVID relief money for the state for tutoring and other intervention programs to boost student engagement has run out in places. WRAL Education Insider Emily Walkenhorst says education leaders have put greater focus on math instruction for rural middle schools, and these results will show how well students are doing in more subjects like reading and math.
We're looking at school-wide proficiency rates, district-wide proficiency rates. How many students actually score proficient or higher when they took the test? And that basically means they're on grade level. They're doing what the state expects them to.
So once those numbers are released, we expect that to be around 10 this morning. We'll have a county-by-county and school-level breakdown on our website. That's WRAL.com. Flint Snyder, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Time is 8:06 here in the WRAL Live Center, giving you a look right now at a scene that appears to be a possible gunshot involved in this. We know that right now the Durham County Sheriff's Office is there, and we're trying to get more specifics in terms of what led up here. What you're seeing is live image as our photojournalist is there on the scene. We do know that a forensics team has since arrived. This is on Laurel Crest Drive that I'm being told. We're trying to reach out to investigators at this very moment to see what exactly they're looking into. At one point, I did see one deputy, but they have since walked out of frame there. So as soon as we get more information on this, we'll, of course, report it here on the WRAL Live Center.
All right, getting back to the subject of education, a new plan to change school assignments in Wake County could affect hundreds of families. The plan proposed at last night's school board meeting is meant to address growth and overcrowding. The district says only a small percentage of students would need to change schools, though. Students at 14 different schools would need to move if it passes.
Some families, it might not have any impact if their students aren't currently in elementary school or they don't live in that particular area. For those students that do live in that community, it could mean an opportunity to go to a new school.
Well, we encourage you to visit WRAL.com to see a complete list of all the schools that could be affected.
Zebulon's 5-county stadium will be hosting more games and events even after the departure of the Carolina Mudcats. Town and county leaders have signed off on a new lease with WRAL parent company Capital Broadcasting. It'll bring a Coastal Plains League baseball team to the stadium, and Wake Tech would also play their baseball, softball, and men's and women's soccer games there. Both Capital Broadcasting and Wake County leaders say that they are excited about this deal.
So from Eastern North Carolina, Eastern Wake County, all the way around, it's just a win-win, and really appreciate all your diligence and everyone else that weighed in to this very important decision.
Now, this deal also gives CBC the right to develop empty land around the stadium. Millions of dollars in upgrades are planned for the venue. The first games are expected to be played next year. New this morning, more than 1,000 current and former employees of the Department of Health and Human Services are calling for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to resign. They made the call in a letter this morning addressed to RFK Jr. and the members of Congress. They say his leadership has, quote, put the health of all Americans at risk. The letter cites the recent removal of newly confirmed CDC Director Susan Monarez, and that happened after she refused to sign off on potential new vaccine restrictions.
A Durham chiropractor accused of secretly recording someone in a bathroom stall is now on administrative leave from his job. A judge laid out the charges against Jeremy Rolla.
Mr. Rollo, you've been charged with felony secret peeping by use of a camera device. You could receive up to 39 months in prison. This is a Class H felony.
Dr. Rollo?
Rollo is a doctor with Durham Chiropractic Injury Center. He didn't give WRAL a comment after his court appearance yesterday, though. According to arrest warrants, Rollo used a cell phone to record a man in a bathroom. Police say it happened at this Best Buy on Capitol Boulevard, not at his workplace. Today, we'll hear from UNC and NC State's football teams about week 2 of the college football season. UNC coach Bill Belichick will be asked how the Tar Heels will move forward after their season opening loss to TCU. UNC will be on the road this weekend playing Charlotte Saturday. We'll also hear from NC State's head coach Dave Doran. The Wolfpack will host Virginia on Saturday after beating East Carolina in their season opener. Hear what the coaches and players have to say in our evening newscast starting at 4.
Time now is 8:10. Plain seat found. A man made the discovery on the Potomac River in Virginia. Why he says he had a difficult time finding anyone to take it months after the crash near Reagan Airport.
And federal deployment. Troops in D.C. could stay there for months. President Trump's new plans to send the National Guard to other cities as well.
And it's definitely a comfortable start here this morning. I'm happy in my jacket. Our dew points are way down in the 50s, but everything is about to change. A little bit more humidity, warmer temperatures, and a chance for rain. I'll go over all of that coming up. It's 8:14 on this gorgeous morning. Our temperatures are still mainly in the 50s, 59 for Wilson, 57 Durham, and 61 degrees right now in Fayetteville. And you can see that sunshine everywhere. I'm standing in the shade here on the patio this morning, so it's still pretty comfortable in a jacket. But I have a feeling another 30 minutes or so, that sun gets a little higher. I'm going to be wanting to shed that jacket. You might need one, just for a little bit out here this morning. Temperatures will be climbing quickly. Today's going to be one of those perfect days to eat your lunch outside or your dinner outside. Our temperature at lunchtime, 76. Dinner time temperatures will be back into the mid-70s too, so get outside and enjoy it while we have it. Today stays dry, but tomorrow a front rolls in. Ahead of it, we're a little warmer, and then late in the day we'll have a chance of showers. I'll show you that on Futurecast coming up.
All right, happening now in the WRAL traffic center, some heavy congestion on I-87 and those southbound lanes as a result of a crash not far from the Smithfield Road exit. You can see the huge congestion it's causing. So if you're coming in from Knightdale, you're coming in from Zebulon, looking at an 18-minute delay, you might want to get off on Smithfield Road, get over to Pool Road, and work your way back to the Beltline to avoid what's happening there in those southbound lanes of I-87. As far as other major routes into the Bold City, very little to no delays, nothing that's going to make you late at this hour.
Devastation in California as a fast-moving wildfire destroyed several homes in the historic town of Chinese Camp. The lightning strike there sparked the big fire, and several homes appear to be either damaged or destroyed in the gold mining community. Evacuation orders are in effect for parts of the area. The fire has burned at least 4,000 acres. Authorities are investigating after a man found a seat from a plane on the banks of the Potomac River in Virginia, more than 7 months after 67 people were killed in a mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport just out of Washington, D.C. Andrew Guevara says he saw the seat while walking his dog this past weekend. You can even see the tray table there knob on the back. In the weeks after the crash between the passenger plane and the Black Hawk helicopter, authorities posted a number to call if wreckage was found. But this long after the crash, he had a hard time finding someone to come and get it.
It seemed matching. Yeah, the red American Airlines color, and then the blue, like the rest of the seat was blue. It was shocking, I guess. I would say shocking, but more so surreal, where it's just like even knowing that something like that could just wash up like so long after.
Just wow. Alexandria police eventually arrived to pick it up, and from there it was given to D.C. police, and the department is now in the process of giving it to the NTSB to confirm if it belonged to the American Airlines Flight 5342.
Looked up lately, noticing more hummingbirds by your feeder? Well, they're migrating south for the fall and winter. Meteorologist Chris Michaels joining us now to let us know how long you should keep your feeder out in today's Ask the Meteorologist. Hey, Chris.
And yeah, Ken, thankfully, we've got several weeks. In fact, if you see something like this, send us a video. This is wild. This is from Tony in Sanford, and they are just swarming the feeders there. They need their energy as they're migrating southward into places like Mexico and Central America. America. Now, for us, we mostly see the ruby-throated hummingbird, and it's going to take a few weeks, for them to fly down south. Now, they sense changes in daylight. They also see a decline in flowers and nectar farther to the north, which has them coming down south. They also rely on their internal clock, the tailwinds that are driving in that cooler weather that we've seen, and they gain 25 to 40% of their weight before flying south. So they need that energy. They need everything that's in your feeders to make that trip. So this is pretty much a 6-month season for us, where someone from Arizona just wrote to me and she's like, what are you talking about? I get them all year long. No, for us, it's about half the year. They arrive in North Carolina in April. Their breeding season is during the summer, but now is the time that they're making that trip south. So if you have any pictures, any videos of them at your feeder, send them to us, WRAL.com/report it.
Exciting time for bird watchers. Chris, thanks. Well, today the state hosting its annual Transportation Summit. As part of it, the DOT is hosting a career fair. Hiring managers will be at the Uvalde Convention Center. Among the jobs that are available, DMV driver license examiners. The goal is to help reduce wait times at the DMV. The fair will run from 8 o'clock this morning until 5 this afternoon, and again tomorrow from 8 to 3. National Guard troops in D.C. could be there for a long haul. This comes as the Trump administration plans to begin sending troops to other major cities as well. A senior official says troops in D.C. are expected to have their military orders extended through December. This extension has not been finalized yet, though, and it is unclear how long this mission will last. The White House has not yet confirmed this extension, but President Trump has confirmed he will be deploying the National Guard to Chicago. This announcement comes just hours after a federal judge ruled the use of the National Guard in Los Angeles earlier this summer was unlawful.
It looks like the Supreme Court could be getting ready to weigh in on President Donald Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act. The president has used this law to target alleged Venezuelan gang members for deportation. And now a federal appeals court says it is unlawful to use the Alien Enemies Act for deportations. In a split decision, the court says the, quote, predatory incursion by the gang did not happen. And that was Trump's claim for invoking the act.
Well, speaking of President Trump, he has also announced the U.S. Space Command will be moving its headquarters to Huntsville, Alabama. Officials had initially planned to move it from Colorado Springs to Alabama during Trump's first administration, but a 2022 report from the Government Accountability Office found issues in the Air Force's decision-making process. In 2023, President Joe Biden ultimately decided to keep the headquarters in Colorado.
A new NFL season is just days away, and WRAL will be the place to watch it. A classic rivalry to start 2025 here, the 2025 season. The Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Kickoff for the big game is set for 8:20 Thursday night, and you can watch the action right here on WRAL News. The fall football is here, and so is a little bit of that fall weather, at least for now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner out on the patios this morning with a look at the forecast. Elizabeth.
Feeling nice and crisp out here this morning. Beautiful. Let's take a look all across the area. Looking at sunshine in Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, and Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. Looking at beautiful conditions here in the gardens. Today is going to remain nice and cool. Temperatures below normal in the low 80s, and our humidity stays low. But things begin to change somewhat tomorrow. We're going to see a front coming through. That's going to be our next weather maker. That'll bring us some late day showers tomorrow. It also will help to bump up our temperatures. Ahead of a front, we tend to see a southwesterly flow. Behind a front, more of a northwesterly flow, which cools things off. Let's check out tomorrow. Notice the clouds really start to thicken up around lunchtime, and then between lunchtime and the evening commute, there's just a small chance for rain. When the front itself comes in, we may have a better chance of some scattered storms. You can see that's maybe 10 o'clock until midnight, and just to our west, there's a level 1 risk for tomorrow. That does not include our viewing area, but you can see how close it gets to us. Then our next weather maker is another front that comes in on Saturday. Ahead of that front, we're really warm on Friday and Saturday, but look what happens to that rain. As that front moves through, a lot of that rain fizzles out, so we're not looking at a lot of rain Saturday, but then that front may stall to our south on Sunday and bring some late day showers and thunderstorms. Overall, the weekend is not going to be a washout. We'll have a chance of some late day showers and mainly overnight for Thursday, Friday, and then late Saturday, and then again late on Sunday, mainly in our southern counties. We haven't had a lot of rain lately. We haven't seen any in 10 days, and even that on August the 23rd was only 0.06 of an inch. Checking the tropics, we're watching a wave coming off the coast of Africa. Still a 70% chance that that could develop, but it is way out in the ocean. The next name is WRAL. We'll see if it gets a name sometime in the next week, and we'll be following it closely. Whew, summer's back for Friday and Saturday with those low 90s, but not for long.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, boy, we got a real mess on I-87. Those southbound lanes we're talking about. This crash right here near the Smithfield Road exit. You can see those delays stretching all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway. Let's take a look at that jam that we're seeing right now. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic. The crash is actually around the bend. You're looking at quite a delay in that area. Also, if you're looking to coming in from Garner, Johnston County this morning, we are seeing some lingering delays on I-40 around the Jones Sausage Road area. There was a crash near the I-40, I-440 interchange that cleared about an hour ago, but you can still see that heavy congestion there. In terms of major routes coming into the capital city, you're looking at a 13-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning. That's that jam up we're seeing on I-87. You're looking at a 15-minute delay. Coming in from Garner, Johnston County, just a little while ago, we showed you that jam up. You're seeing quite a bit of delay. Over in Durham, very little to no delays at this hour.
Scary wake-up call. Police now confirm that the car that crashed into a home early yesterday morning was stolen. Where police are turning to next after a family was forced out of their home.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner out there on the WRAL patio.
Comfortably cool out here this morning. We take a live look behind me. You can see that sunshine really starting to get a little higher in the sky, making for bright conditions out here in the gardens. Our dew point still very comfortable at 56. It is likely to stay that way all day, so it feels wonderful as you're walking the dog this morning. Temperatures have been in the 50s. We'll climb into the mid-70s at lunchtime, and our high this afternoon in the low 80s. Walking the dog this evening, we're back into the 70s. So just a beautiful day in our forecast again.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we're keeping an eye on that situation on I-87, those southbound lanes near Smithfield Road. Now, the crash that happened right here just beyond the Smithfield Road exit cleared just a short time ago, but you can still see the lingering delays stretching all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway. Here's what the jam-up looks like, when the bumper-to-bumper traffic, if you will. You might want to take the Smithfield Road exit, head over the Pool Road and get over the Beltline, because right now you're looking at a 16-minute delay. I'll have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
This morning, a man is in the hospital after a shooting in eastern Wake County. The sheriff's office says deputies found a man shot on Privet Road around 1 a.m. 3 miles away, deputies were investigating a car with a bullet hole. We're working to find how those scenes are related. And just before 5:30, parts of Falls of News Road in North Raleigh reopened after a crash. This happened around 4 p.m. yesterday near Hunting Ridge Road. Sky 5 was above the aftermath. Police say one of the two cars involved overturned. It hit a telephone pole and brought down some traffic signals. Next on Fox 50, what North Carolina leaders are expected to show about state standardized testing results. And coming up, a Today exclusive, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
That breaking news takes us to the east of Raleigh this morning. We're looking at Highway 64 near Green Pace, not far from Lizard Lake Road. Sky 5 over that scene. We'll let you know what's going on and how to get around it.
A shooting investigation underway. A man found shot in eastern Wake County this morning. How deputies say two scenes nearly 3 miles apart are connected.
And it's a tale of two seasons. Nice and crisp this morning with our temperatures starting off in the mid-50s, but then Saturday's high 92. I'll show you why we're seeing such a big change.
School performance. This morning we'll get new information about standardized test results in North Carolina, what they're expected to show about how classrooms are working through funding cuts. So glad you're with us here. Coming up on 8:30 on Fox 50, I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. We're starting our day nice and cool, getting that nice taste of fall. I think we could get used to it, but we know that it's going to change pretty soon.
Absolutely. Let's get outside and check in with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner on the WRAL weather patio. You're wearing your jacket, I see?
I am. You know, I came out here about an hour and a half ago and was definitely happy to have the jacket. I can tell that the temperatures are starting to warm up a little bit. I'm not quite ready to take it off, but I'm getting really close. We take a look at the gardens behind me. Beautiful sunshine all across our area. There's not a cloud in the sky right here currently, and that's really the same situation that we're seeing all across the viewing area. Our temperatures are looking great. We're going to see plenty of sunshine for it today. Our highs will get a little bit warmer. We've already climbed to 57 degrees. Our dew point sitting at 56 right now, and our temperatures likely to climb pretty quickly into the low 80s for later on this afternoon. Looking at a warmer day for tomorrow, especially into the weekend. We're going to see a couple of days with highs in the 90s and a bit of rain as well. I'll walk you through all of that coming up.
Well, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we want to get right to that Sky 5 video that we just showed just a little while ago. This Highway 64 on Green Pace Road. You can see first responders working at that scene, and at least one lane of traffic is blocked. I'll continue to keep an eye on this and let you know how this will continue to affect your morning commute. But the good news is you got at least one lane getting through, even though you're seeing a little bit of a slowdown. Here's the other traffic mess that we're dealing with. The left lane blocked right here on Lizard Lake Road. If you're heading to Rocky Mount, Zebulon, you're going to run into a little bit of a delay, so keep that in mind. The other troubled spot at I-87 in those southbound lanes, there was a crash just beyond the Smithfield Road exit that cleared just a short time ago, but you can still see the lingering delays stretching all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway. This is what it looks like right now, the bumper-to-bumper traffic. So if you're in a rush this morning, you might want to take the Smithfield Road exit, work your way to the Pool Road and back onto the Beltline, because right now you're looking at a 13-minute delay if you're heading in to the capital city. Now, this situation on I-40 westbound coming in from Garner-Johnston County between Jones Sausage Road and the I-440 interchange, you're looking at a serious jam-up as a result of a crash that cleared a short time ago. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio. We'll keep you updated. 101.5 HD3.
A busy morning on the roads, Ken. Thank you. A person is in the hospital after an overnight shooting in eastern Wake County. Deputies found a man with a gunshot wound along Privet Road around 1 this morning. They also are now investigating and found a car with a bullet hole near Edgemont Road in Wendell. And that's where we find Ali Katlabar in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, deputies say that these two scenes are about 3 miles apart and they're connected.
Yes, and here's what's left of one of those scenes. This car is what we found deputies investigating. It was taped off, a door was open, and there's a bullet hole in the back windshield. It's actually shattered the back windshield. Now, we want to show you both of these scenes here. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Deputies responded to a shooting at Privet Road. This scene right here, you can see, this was all around 1 a.m. 3 miles away, deputies also investigated this car with a bullet hole in the back windshield on Cooper's Hawk Trail. Now, deputies on both scenes say that these are connected. Now, I also want to point your attention to this tag that Wake County Sheriff's Office put on this vehicle saying that if the owner doesn't move it himself, his or herself, then they will have it towed at the owner's expense by Friday. This is also blocking this road in this neighborhood, and so we actually just heard a neighbor come out and say that they wish that it would be covered up or towed away. So we still have a lot of questions here. Who owns this vehicle, as well as how these scenes are connected? We're going to keep you guys updated on WRAL. Reporting live in Wake County, Ali Katlabar, WRAL News.
Well, today parents will get the chance to see how their student's school did on statewide tests. North Carolina education leaders are expected to release standardized test scores this morning. WRAL's Flint Snyder is live outside the Department of Public Instruction. Flint, these results could make a difference in how parents view their schools.
Yeah, Ken, and when school leaders meet here in downtown Raleigh in just a few hours, they're going to be looking at those results to see how much student learning has improved and recovered since the pandemic. Last year's results revealed in some cases districts on average are doing better than they were before the pandemic, but results vary by school. In Wake County, past results show reading proficiency among students rose slightly last year to just over 61%. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst says these results will come as more than $1 billion in COVID relief funds used for tutoring and other intervention programs to help engage students have run out in some areas.
Those programs have been cut or reduced in a lot of places because basically that funding ran out. That funding ran out a year ago. And so the 2024-25 school year, this last school year that we're going to get test results from, was actually the first school year that they didn't have some of these dollars.
So once those test scores are released, we expect that to happen around 10 this morning. We'll have a county by county and school level breakdown on our website. That's WRAL.com. Flynn Snyder, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Durham police say a person was shot early this morning. It happened around 12:15 on Elm Street. There's no word on how badly that person was hurt or if any arrest has been made.
Well, someone shot at a state trooper's vehicle during an attempted traffic stop last night. That trooper was not injured, though. This happened around 8:30 on MacArthur Road near I-295 in Fayetteville. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there as troopers were examining the damage to the cruiser. You can see them looking at a flat front tire and changing it. We're working to get more information from the State Highway Patrol about what exactly happened here.
Zebulon's 5-county stadium will have new teams, new attractions, and millions of dollars in upgrades. A new partnership here with WRAL's parent company, Capital Broadcasting Company, will give the stadium new life. 5-county stadium was home to the Carolina Mudcats for decades. Now that the Mudcats are leaving, CBC plans to bring a Coastal Plains League team to the stadium. Wig Tech would also play at their baseball, softball, and soccer games here. CBC plans to add a new field, scoreboard, concession and family play area. The first games are expected to be played there next year.
Well, 2 people are hurt after a chase and crash involving Wake County deputies. Deputies say they tried to pull over a driver for speeding on I-87 around 5:15 yesterday evening. The driver led deputies on a chase before crashing on Pool Road. 5 cars were caught up in that melee. Sky 5 flew over the scene near the Beltline. Now, we're told the 2 people who were hurt are expected to recover. The driver who led the chase is facing charges.
A Raleigh woman and her son are out of their home because of this, a car crashing into it. Police say the car was stolen, and we first brought you this story as breaking news yesterday morning. The car crashed into a home on Haverty Drive around 4:30 Tuesday. The impact was so strong, it awoke the woman and her son.
I'm glad I went home by myself. I didn't know what in the world I would have did. Probably had a heart attack.
Oh. Raleigh police say that they are looking for the people who were in the car. Despite the crash, police say cases like this are down from last year.
We've reported a lot about the new cell phone policies hitting schools all across our state. Now we've got to look inside Wake County schools to see how it's applying the new district-wide policy. The policy went into effect at the beginning of this school year. It requires students to put them away during class. Green Hope High School already had similar rules. It requires students to put their phones into labeled caddies on the wall during class.
It's out of reach. So if they get a notification or they get a buzz on their watch and their phone's in their bag, it's very difficult for a 16-year-old brain, it's not fully developed yet, to ignore that notification.
Now it's just more official, I guess. So we've always had it, just now we're putting a label on it.
Well, students say teachers are being stricter this year, but they say the policy works because students know the expectations regardless of the classroom environment.
A display of military might in China. President Xi Jinping hosted Russian President Vladimir Putin, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and other world leaders for a massive military parade. The parade featured more than 10,000 troops and hundreds of advanced weapons. It commemorates the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II.
Emergency services in Ukraine are working today to put out fires after a Russian attack. Russia launched a barrage of drone and missile strikes in the western part of Ukraine overnight. Several buildings caught fire after the strikes. There's no word yet on any casualties.
President Donald Trump says the U.S. military conducted a strike on a boat tied to a Venezuelan drug cartel. The president says 11 people were killed in the strike. It happened in international waters. He shared this video on social media. Trump says more strikes could be on the way.
You'll see, and there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time, and these came out of Venezuela. And coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela, so we took it out.
Trump said the boat was tied to a cartel designated as a foreign terrorist organization this year. The U.S. military deployed forces around the Caribbean and Latin America as part of an effort to combat drug cartels.
Time is 8:40 here on the WRAL Live Center with a breaking update from the town of Nashville's police department. They say there have been 4 arrests that have been announced regarding a shooting death from this past weekend. So this happened on Sunday, the shooting. The victim was Calvin Ellis, who was found shot on Smith Street, and he died after going to the hospital. But the people who have been arrested, 3 of them are pictured here. They're 19-year-old Kiever Lee. He's charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. 66-year-old Otha Chavis Jr. charged with accessory, and 50-year-old Patrick Richardson charged with felony obstruction of justice. Now, they don't name which person is which, but I can show you a little bit of this scene where you can see the officers that are there in this photo and this person being taken away in cuffs as well. There was also someone under the age of 18 that was arrested, charged with conspiracy to commit murder.
Chris, thank you. Your time now, 8:41. Digital wallet protection. Tools like Apple Pay are fast and convenient, but are you protected if you lose your phone? 5 on your side's Keely Arthur explains how to protect your money.
A deadly ding-dong ditch. A simple prank leaves a child dead and a man charged with murder, while investigators say this was an intentional act.
Let's get a live look this morning from Carolina Beach. Wow, what a beautiful view. Once again, starting off cool today, but the days of false fall are numbered. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains when those 90-degree days will be making a comeback into the Triangle.
It is 8:45 and temperatures are starting to creep up a little bit now. It's 59 in Wilson, 57 in Durham, and 61 in Fayetteville. We started pretty much all across the board with temperatures in the mid-50s, so we're seeing those temperatures climb a little bit. What a gorgeous day. I hope that you have a chance to get outside and enjoy it at least sometime. Lunchtime would be perfect, 76 degrees with lots of sunshine, and our humidity stays low. After school practice, I remember those days. It'll be a little bit warmer. Between 3 and 4 o'clock, our highs will be in the low 80s, but once we get to 6 or 7, it's very comfortable with mid-70s. The good thing about today is our humidity stays low. Not necessarily the case as we get toward the end of the week. We're going to have a better chance for rain, slightly higher humidity, and much warmer temperatures. I'll show you our next 90-degree high coming up.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're keeping an eye on I-87. There was a crash not far from the Smithfield Road exit as we take a live look at I-87 and Smithfield Road. That crash has since cleared, but you can still see the lingering delays stretching all the way back really to Wyndham Falls Parkway. At one point, you're looking at a 15-minute delay, but again, that's clearing up. Right now, you're looking at a 4-minute delay coming in from Nightdale, just a 10-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest and US 1 Capitol Boulevard, if you will. Over in Durham, very little to no delays, really. Nothing that's going to make you late at this hour.
Digital wallets like Apple Pay are fast, convenient, and increasingly common. But what happens if that phone goes missing or falls into the wrong hands? 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows you how to protect your money when using one.
About 75% of Americans use a digital wallet like this one. 4 in 10 say they use one at least once a week. Digital wallets are really convenient, but if someone gets a hold of yours, they can access your money in seconds. And that is why it's so important to add every layer of protection that you can. First, set it so you need a face scan, fingerprint, or passcode to make a full payment. Not all apps do this by default, so you may need to turn that feature on. If your phone goes missing, make sure it can be found remotely so you can erase all your data before someone else gets to it. On an iPhone, go to Settings, tap your name, then Find My, and make sure Find My iPhone is on. If you have an Android phone, it's called Find My Device. Just sign in with your Google account, and it's enabled automatically. And watch out for scams. They're on the rise.
Scams involving digital wallet payment apps have become a serious problem. Some consumers have lost thousands of dollars. So it's important to stay vigilant to avoid becoming a victim.
Here's another thing I want you to do. Turn on transaction alerts for every purchase you make and get in the habit of checking your card balances as well as your bank statements. That way you can see anything unusual and catch it quickly. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Chris Lovingood here back in the WRAL Life Center. I want to point your attention to this vehicle right here. It's a light blue 2007 Dodge Caliber, and this is a vehicle that state troopers are looking for. We brought you the story about someone who was firing at a trooper, and this was on I-295 in Cumberland County. And when we were trying to get more information on this, it turns out from a press release we got a little bit ago, authorities say the driver refused to stop during a traffic stop, and that's when the chase happened. But someone in the passenger seat leaned out and then fired gunshots at a trooper there. The license plate, it didn't look like they had it just yet, but we know that the rear bumper is visibly missing, according to investigators. Again, a light blue 2007 Dodge Caliber. No injuries reported, but they are still trying to look for that person responsible.
All right, Chris, thanks. So Governor Josh Stein announcing a plan to get more AI into state government. He signed an executive order creating programs using artificial intelligence to improve state services. The governor directed state agencies to create oversight teams with that goal in mind. He also created an AI leadership council to ensure the state is using the technology responsibly.
It's going to make it more efficient for workers to actually do their job. As we look at it, how do we take that efficiency and be able to shift them to doing something else as well that they already have, they just haven't gotten to?
A pilot project found AI helped some divisions of the state treasurer's office improve productivity by 10%. Stein thinks the technology could also be used at the DMV and other state agencies.
An update to this story now coming out of Houston. A man accused of shooting and killing an 11-year-old boy in Houston after a ding-dong ditch prank is due in court today. Authorities in Houston arrested Gonzalo Leon Jr. early yesterday. Police say the boy and his cousin were ringing people's doorbells and running away Saturday night. Investigators say a witness saw Leon Jr. leave his home and fire a gunshot into the road. Then the boy hitting him in the back. The boy died Sunday. The district attorney says he believes the shooting was intentional.
You believe that he aimed at this boy?
That is exactly what we believe.
Was there ever a moment where your team considered this may have been self-defense?
No, never.
The Houston community is now memorializing this boy's life.
All right, we want to get back out to the WRAL weather patio, check in with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. You've got your jacket on, chilly now, but boy, warm temperatures are making a comeback.
So Ken, in the commercial break, we were laughing. I'm a reptile, and I need that warmth. And I think anybody else would probably take their jacket off by now. And if I were doing the 9 o'clock newscast out here, I would. But I'm still happy to have the jacket on. It's 57 degrees right now. Our dew point's 56. It's just beautiful. The sunshine, of course, gorgeous all across our area right now. Temperatures will climb into the low 80s this afternoon, a little bit warmer than what we saw yesterday. Right now, some 60s starting to pop up out there. 61 Southern Pines, 65 in Clinton. It's 64 right now in Goldsboro and in South Hill. And our temperatures in the Triangle starting to warm up a little bit too. It's 60 now in Garner and Knightdale, 57 in Cary, 58 in Apex. Around town this afternoon, low 80s, which is still below normal for this time of year. Looking at 85 in Fayetteville. Those low 80s will be in the Triangle. Here's what happens next. We have a cold front that will arrive tomorrow. It's a little slower, a little weaker than it was yesterday. Minimal amounts of rain really with this. And then we get a warm up ahead of the next front, which comes in late Saturday. And that could bring us a few showers Saturday night and then possibly late Sunday in our southern counties if it happens to stall there. Here's what's happening right now. The blue shaded area is where temperatures are cooler than normal. We're going to see a little bit of a warm up after tomorrow's front. Watch how it turns yellow again. We're going to see highs in the 90s on Friday and Saturday. But once that second front moves through, we see temperatures cooling back off again. Kind of complicated, but kind of an up and down pattern for us. Our normal high is 86, so we're below that today. And then 90 on Friday and 92 on Saturday. Lots of things happening this weekend, and it's going to feel pretty toasty for those events. Our average last 90-degree day of the year is September 12th, and it's possible that these two could be our last ones. Of course, for the Hopscotch Festival, Friday and Saturday could be pretty hot out there right in the middle of the afternoon with low 90s both days. And then, of course, kickoff forecast, noon kickoffs for Duke and NC State in the Triangle, looking at mid to upper 80s. UNC plays at Charlotte in the evening, starting at around 81. Once we get past this weekend, we have the potential for below average temperatures again. So even though it may be 92 on Saturday, we could drop into the mid 80s on Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday are well below normal again.
And before we head to break, let's take a look at the winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on the weather and traffic coming up next.